Okay, so you planned your winter vacation. You got that great deal on a hotel in Cabo, right on the beach. You can't wait to get out of the frigid cold, and you're dreaming about fish out of the Pacific and authentic flavors. And you get there and, well, it's not exactly what you had thought. I mean, all the food in the hotel seems to be international. You're looking at the sea, but you don't seem to find anything that seems local on the menu. So what do? How do you get out of that? How do you eat like the local people are eating? Well, if you're staying in Cabo San Lucas, you know it's just a few miles up the road to San Jose del Cabo. That's an old, small town established in 1730, and it's got a lot of authentic feel to it. Go wandering out on the street. Don't be afraid to do that. You'll find places that are filled with locals. Maybe even befriend somebody that lives in the community. A lot of people are really anxious to take folks out and show them the local specialties. To tell you the truth, the first place I like to go in any town is to the local market. Oh, look at that one. What's that one? Cabrilla? Yeah. Cabrilla, yeah. That's one of the favorite local sea bass. Cabrilla. You see all the spots on the bottom of it there? Is there? ¿Y cómo se llama ese?
Queen.
Queen sea bass? Pero en español.
Reina de las cabrillas.
Reina de
las cabrillas.
Oh, de las cabrillas. Muy bien. When you want the real everyday food of the people, whether you're in Mexico or anywhere, you can't do much better than searching out a market. I mean, first of all, you're going to find all the ingredients that everybody's cooking with, and you're likely to find some prepared foods too. Practically every market in Mexico has a group of fondas alongside. You can think of the fondas like little stalls where somebody's good cook grandma started making local specialties for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a dozen or so small fondas at the Mercado San Jose. That's where my Cabo friend Hugo said that we should start our day of eating. A day that I thought held a lot of promise for a true, authentic taste of Cabo. What do you recommend? ¿Qué recomiendas?
Me gustaría la sopa de mariscos. Es bastante
Sopa de mariscos. Señora? This place was the definition of Cabo homey. It's a family of cooks making tamales and enchiladas, snacks, soups. They even had chicken in mole. The first words out of Hugo's mouth were sopa de mariscos, seafood soup, which unfortunately they didn't have the ingredients for. Kind of turns out that their menu is more of a wish list than an inventory list. But we settled on some good stuff. Hugo got the caldo de res, the beef soup with hearty shank and vegetables. I got some sopes, the little masa boats that were filled with shredded beef and beans, cheese, lettuce, tomato. Solid, good food. Ay, qué bonito. Muchas gracias. Wow. Espero que tengas hambre. Okay.
Provecho, Rick.
Provecho. You like it?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
So you have carrot, corn, potatoes, zucchini. That looks really good. So I'm going to go for tacos next. Where should we go?
Go to Los Michoacanos. It's a great place.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of tacos?
Carnitas. This is
You'll make me very happy with carnitas tacos.
Estos son los Michoacanos.
Oh, estoy muy contento aquí con este puerco dorado.
Puerco dorado.
Yeah, what do you like? ¿Cuál prefieres?
Oh, a mí me gusta lo que es la maciza.
La maciza?
La maciza.
Oh, yo no. Oh, I like that. The cuerito that's back there, the skin, I like that. Let's see, it looks like there's some heart there, pig's trotters. This looks like pork loin over here, your part, over there. I don't know what all that is, but it sure does look good. Hugo loves Los Michoacanos. I mean, I think everybody in San Jose del Cabo does, because it's just a beautiful little carnitas joint. They make these very fragrant, fresh corn tortillas, and then they fill them with the little juicy bits of slow-cooked pork carnitas. You can watch them make those delicious whole pig carnitas right there in that open kitchen, and then you choose whatever parts you like best. Vamos a ordenar. Okay, ¿qué quieres?
Gracias. Dos de maciza. Yo quiero dos de maciza.
Hugo ordered his carnitas tacos with maciza. That's the lean part from the shoulder and the loin and the leg. And in typical fashion, I wanted to see everything that pig had to offer. So I ordered the mixto. Then the tacos got the traditional little shower of onions and cilantro. But what really lit them up were those delicious salsas, especially the one that was made from roasted tomatoes and roasted green chili. Since I was staying down on the water in Cabo, I probably never would have found this next place that Hugo took me to. Now, though it's a seafood place, it's perched up on this sandy bluff way north of San Jose, about 10 miles from the ocean. It's called El Toro Guerrero, and it's clearly a favorite with folks that live around here. I mean, they just pack into the place. We joined up with Amado, one of Hugo's friends who just loves the food here.
Amado, ¿cómo estás?
Listo para
Hello guys, welcome.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Thank
What can I do
you.
for you guys?
Well, I saw these shrimp when I walked in, shrimp with bacon around them.
See, we put in some cheese inside, and we roll it with bacon, and we salt it on butter and garlic, and we got that.
We got it.
Good.
We got to have that one. Okay, now tell me about Aguachila. You have Aguachila, right?
See, of course.
Yeah. ¿Quieren compartir unas cosas?
Sí, seguro.
Share some things together? Okay. What do you want? ¿De chiles rellenos?
Está bien.
Entonces, shrimp and aguachile. The chiles rellenos with marlin. The bacon wrapped.
The camarones rellenos.
Camarones. Yeah. We gotta have those. And you have pulpo
Para picar.
para picar?
I mean, it's a really good.
Very
it's-
tender.
See, exactly.
Okay, good. The aguachile dish that we ordered was made from raw shrimp that was dressed out with a lot of lime and jalapeno, some onions and cucumber. The pulpo dish was made from tender simmered octopus, and it was finished pretty much the same way as the shrimp dish. Muy satisfechos.
Here you come, guys.
Oh, thank you.
There's the octopus and the aguachile.
Beautiful. Now this is raw shrimp, right? They're
Sí.
not cooked, right? And then it has the lime juice on top of it.
That's right.
And a little bit of the salsa habanera around there.
Exactly.
Boy, they look so good. Really beautiful.
I hope that you guys enjoy.
I'm sure we will. Thank you.
Gracias.
¿Quieres salsa?
Sí.
¿De cuál?
De la Valentina.
So they had this delicious habanero salsa. I was a little surprised that Hugo tried it because he's not known for liking very spicy food. But we both thought it was really great. And then I tried some of the milder bottled hot sauces. They must have had a dozen of them on the table. I was like a kid in a candy store. After the cold seafood dishes, we went on to some stuffed chilies. Here they use this little yellow chili that they call a torito, and they clean it and then fry it and stuff it with a beautiful mixture of shredded smoked marlin. It's a delicious take on chile rellenos, but maybe not as delicious as the camarones rellenos, which are butterflied shrimp stuffed with cheese, wrapped in bacon, and then seared on a hot griddle. It's pretty unbelievable stuff.
This is the shrimp, camarones rellenos, y el chile relleno de marlin ahumado.
Wow.
I hope
Thank
that
you very
guys
much.
Enjoy.
¿Te sirvo? Chile.
Algo me dice que me voy a acordar de este día.
I can say that I've had fancier seafood meals, maybe in a beautiful dining room overlooking the ocean, which I have to say that I like. But the food at this oddly located little seafood joint was pretty much as honestly, authentically good as any seafood meal I've ever had. Bacon wrapped shrimp are popular all over Mexico, and my daughter Lainey and I are going to show you our version of that incredibly delicious Mexican specialty. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is to peel and butterfly the shrimp.
Now you want to leave the tails on. In order to peel them, you just take the shell from either side and tear that right off.
Now the next step is to do the deveining and butterflying. We're going to do that from the inside here. So right down the inside of each shrimp, cut all the way down, but not through the other side. And you'll notice that we've got a vein here. This is actually the intestinal tract, and you want to get rid of that. That goes with the shells over there. Now on to the cheesy filling for these little delicacies.
Now I'm going to grate some of this Manchego cheese here.
And I'm going to chop up some cream cheese.
That makes it really nice and creamy, which is not something you find in Mexico.
Why don't you put that grated cheese in there while I clean up here. And on to the next two ingredients. We have roasted garlic and chopped cilantro.
So we've roasted this garlic for about 15 minutes. You can see that the skin is all blackened, but really the crucial part is that it's soft on the inside, so we can peel it and mash it very easily.
Mashed garlic in, chopped cilantro. I'm going to grind a little bit of fresh pepper to give it a nice flavor, and a good
Smells
pinch
delicious.
of salt. And we'll just mix all of that together. Why don't you grab the fork and do all of that? And now on to stuffing the shrimp. You'll need a half a slice of very thin cut bacon for each one of the stuffed shrimp. So I'm going to cut those in half.
Great.
And then take a butterflied shrimp. Takes less filling than you might think for this. About a teaspoon to smear right down the middle. And then I'm going to kind of flip it over right there, and you can wrap it. Now here's the most important part of this recipe. You gotta cook these in a really hot, heavy pan, preferably even putting them in a griddle. This is a cast iron griddle. And then how do you lay them down?
Now it's really crucial that you lay the overlapped part of the bacon on the griddle itself, just to avoid it from unraveling.
After a minute, turn them a quarter of a turn. You'll notice that they're beginning to crisp up and brown. And continue those 1 minute quarter turns until they're browned on all sides. That's about as long as it'll take to cook these shrimp. You want a little salsa on yours?
Messy.
Nothing better than bacon and shrimp.
And cheese.
Mm-hmm. Roasted garlic.
Salsa?
Mm-hmm. Okay, sometimes you don't have a local guide. So what do you do then? Well, I wander around, usually a little off the main drag, just to see what I find. In San Jose del Cabo, I walked past this place. Actually, I walked past it several times before it caught my eye with menu boards that announced an incredible variety of tamales. It's called El Sabor Internacional.
Buenas tardes, señora.
Buenas tardes, ¿cómo está?
Oh, muy bien. Tamales, tamales, tamales.
Tamales, tamales, tamales.
The name El Sabor Internacional clues you into the fact that the owner makes tamales from everywhere. Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, even Indonesia. And she also has a whole selection of sweet tamales for snacks or dessert.
The cranberry?
The cranberry, the blueberry.
Wow.
I don't think that blueberry or cranberry tamales have ever crossed my mind, and I wasn't sure that that's really where I wanted to start. So I ordered a couple of the more traditional savory tamales, and then I got talked into trying a dessert tamal or two, a guava and cream cheese tamal, and a pumpkin pie tamal that the owner was selling hard as her personal favorite.
De la pumpkin, de la de Halloween.
De la calabaza de Halloween.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
De guayaba con queso.
Muy
Guava
bien.
with cheese. Calabaza.
De calabaza.
Sinaloa.
De Sinaloa. Muy bien.
That savory tamal was really good. Slow-cooked beef with 3 chilies Sinaloa style. But I have to say that sweet tamal stayed on my mind for days.
So we've got some amazing tamales here, and there's a whole tradition of sweet tamales in Mexico. But these are a little bit different because, well, this one here, which is so utterly delicious, it takes its inspiration from that classic Mexican dessert, which is the ate, or the paste of guava that you serve with fresh cheese, and it's all chopped up and put into this tamal. And then this one comes from an inspiration from the United States, classic pumpkin pie filling. I know it sounds really weird, but I tell you, you would have to absolutely taste it before you could say it was odd. This is a place I think you should come. Muy deliciosa, señora, muy deliciosa.
You know, it's really too bad that more people in the United States don't know about sweet tamales. I mean, they're one of the great delicacies of Mexico. And what Lainey and I are going to show you how to make is this fabulous combination of cream cheese and guava paste as the filling for the sweet tamales. Now, if you've never tasted guava paste before, well, you can buy it in the Mexican grocery stores. Well, it sort of reminds me of a soft fruit leather, or maybe in a good grocery store you've come across something called membrillo or quince paste. It's very closely related, and actually the quince paste is a great substitution if you don't find the guava paste. So Lainey's cutting that up. The cream cheese is already cut up over there. Now, a couple of hours ago, I put some dried corn husks to soak. They come dried in a package like that. Put them into a large bowl, put hot tap water on them. I always put a plate on top to keep them submerged, and after a couple of hours they'll be soft and pliable. And now on to making the batter. Now, the first thing that I'm going to put into the mixer bowl is butter, which may surprise you because a lot of tamales are made with either shortening or with lard. But when you're making sweet tamales, I think butter is the best choice, and a lot of cooks in Mexico agree with me. And to that, I'm going to add 1 1/3 cups of sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This will help to bring out that sweetness beautifully. Now, all of that gets beaten together on a kind of medium speed until it's light and fluffy. Now, up to this point, we could be making a cake batter, but this is where all the things change, because the most important ingredient in making tamales, obviously, is the masa, the corn masa, and you have 2 choices. I'm lucky enough to live near a beautiful tortilla factory that makes fresh ground, coarse masa for making tamales. But if you don't have that option, then you could buy the masa harina, but buy the one that's more coarsely ground, the one that says it's for making tamales. This will need to be reconstituted according to the directions on the package. When working with fresh ground masa, you simply add it a little bit at a time to the beaten butter mixture. Last ingredient is a half cup of milk, which I'm going to dribble into the batter while beating it. See how light and fluffy that is? Well, it would even be lighter and fluffier and produce even tenderer tamales if you just refrigerate the batter for about an hour and then rebeat it, adding an additional half cup of milk. Drain the corn husks that are soft and pliable now. Take a few of them and lay them into a steamer. There's special steamers sold in Mexico, of course, for making tamales, but you can use practically any steamer for doing this process. A little bed of them there, and then take a nice corn husk. Now you want one that's going to be about 5 or 6 inches across at the widest part. Take a quarter of a cup of batter. Spread it into a square that's about 4 inches across, leaving about a whole 1.5 inches at the widest end.
You want to put in the ate and the cream cheese here, every other one to get a good distribution of flavor.
Then pick up both sides, like that, to encase that ate. Then at the narrowest end, fold it in like that. Take a piece of corn husk, tear them into small strips that you can use to tie the tamales to hold that folded end up, and then place it into the vaporera, into the steamer with the open side up. Once all of them are formed, you want to make sure that they're standing upright in your steamer. If they're not packed pretty tightly in there, then wad up some foil and accommodate that down in there to keep them all upright. Then take some of the remaining soaked corn husks and lay them over the top of the tamales to protect them from condensation. Put the top on it. Bring it to a boil. I usually do that over high heat. It'll take about 1 hour and 15 minutes for them to cook.
Waiting is the hardest part.
Ready for the unveiling?
Yes.
Okay. It smells so good. That's one of my favorite parts of tamal making.
Corn husks smell.
They smell so delicious in the kitchen. Okay.
A little hot there?
Now, next time you're thinking about something great to have at a brunch, think about these tamales.